Your skin produces a natural antibiotic called dermcidin. It kills staph, E. coli, and drug-resistant tuberculosis on contact, but it only activates through deep sweating, the kind earthen sweat baths produce. Every ancient civilization on Earth built these baths for pennies. Researchers at Tübingen isolated this peptide from human sweat in 2001. By the end of this video, you will discover how modern plumbing and the soap industry work together to erase this practice, and how you can actually build one. In 2001, a team at the University of Tübingen in Germany found that human sweat glands secrete a peptide called dermcidin that kills bacteria on contact. That includes Staphylococcus aureus, E. coli, and Candida albicans, and even methicillin-resistant staph, the superbug that terrifies hospitals worldwide. Your body manufactures its own antibiotic. It only deploys through deep, sustained full-body sweating. This is the kind produced when you sit inside a small earthen chamber heated by stones for 20 to 40 minutes. The kind your ancestors produced in structures built from the dirt beneath their feet. Here is where it gets uncomfortable for the modern hygiene industry. Your skin is not a sterile surface waiting to be cleaned. It is a living ecosystem, 1 trillion microorganisms that form what scientists call the skin microbiome. These organisms are not invaders. They are your first line of defense, and soap destroys them. Researchers at UCLA have documented that soaps and chemicals routinely used in bathing strip away beneficial bacteria and open space for pathogenic species to colonize. When you disrupt the barrier, different microbes grow. Not better ones, dangerous ones. Dr. James Hamblin, a physician at the Yale School of Public Health, tested this premise for 5 years. He stopped using soap and all personal care products entirely. His skin became more supple, less oily, and his eczema disappeared. Over time, his skin microbiome stabilized without a single product touching it. And here is the historical reality that reframes everything. Daily bathing with soap is not ancient. It is barely a century old. Before the mid-19th century, Americans seldom bathed for personal cleanliness. Many considered bathing unhealthy. What replaced traditional sweat bathing was not better science, it was better marketing. Our ancestors built the solution into the dirt beneath their feet 9,000 years ago. In Finland, archaeological evidence places heat bathing as far back as 7,000 BC. These early saunas were pits dug into the earth, covered with animal skins, heated by fire and stones. Families used them for bathing, healing, and giving birth. Earth, stone, fire, the cost was nothing. Today, 5.5 million Finns maintain approximately 3 million saunas, more saunas than cars. The tradition never died because the Finns never let anyone take it. 4,000 years ago, on the Orkney Islands off Scotland, Bronze Age people built stone sweat chambers near water sources. At Martinhenge near Stonehenge, excavations revealed a sweat lodge predating written language in Britain. Before the Romans arrived, before the Celts, there was sweat. Across the ocean in Mesoamerica, the temazcale dominated daily life for thousands of years. These were dome-shaped structures built from volcanic rock and adobe mud bricks. Adobe is cob, by another name. Clay, sand, straw, and water shaped into walls. The Aztecs used temazcales to purify the body after battle, heal the sick, and help women give birth safely. Entire civilizations organized their health around a structure that cost nothing to build. The Romans understood the same physics. Their Laconicum reached 50 degrees Celsius, heated by hypocaust systems beneath the floor. In Korea, the Ondol system dates back 3,000 years using underfloor channels to regulate temperatures. In the American Southwest, native peoples built semi-subterranean pit houses for 8,000 years using earth contact principles. Every civilization that mastered human health arrived at the same answer independently: a small earthen chamber, heated stones, induced sweating. The material was always local earth. The cost was always trivial. So what happened? In 1725, the colonial government in Mexico prohibited temazcales in San Juan, Teotihuacan. Spanish authorities wanted to purge indigenous heritage and redefine bathing as a private act rather than a communal ritual. During the conquest, temazcal structures were physically torn down. Indigenous sweat bathing was banned outright. The Europeans did not reject the science, they criminalized it. Across Europe, bathhouses that had flourished for centuries disappeared during the 18th and 19th centuries. Religious authorities raised moral concerns about communal nudity. Only in Russia and Finland did the practice survive unbroken. Then the soap industry arrived to fill the vacuum it had helped create. By the 1890s, advertising had become the engine of the American soap business. In 1893, Procter & Gamble spent $125,000 promoting Ivory soap. By 1905, their budget exceeded $400,000. Advertisements positioned soap as progress, capable of washing away foreignness, ignorance, and poverty. By the 1920s, bathing with commercial soap had been reframed as essential hygiene. Advertising convinced an entire population that soap was necessary for cleanliness. The final piece was infrastructure. Plumbing improvements enabled cities to provide clean water and sewer systems. Upper and middle-class Americans installed bathtubs in private bathrooms. The private bathroom replaced the communal sweat bath. Bathing became a commercial transaction. But the science never changed, and modern medicine is proving what the ancients already knew. In eastern Finland, Dr. Jari Laukkanen followed 2,315 men for over 20 years. The results, published in JAMA Internal Medicine, were staggering. Men who used a sauna 4 to 7 times per week had a 40% reduction in all-cause mortality. They had a 63% lower risk of sudden cardiac death. They had a 50% reduction in cardiovascular disease mortality. These are numbers that would make any pharmaceutical company billions if they could put them in a pill. A review in the Mayo Clinic proceedings confirmed that regular sauna bathing mimics moderate exercise. It raises heart rate and improves vascular function. The same review linked sauna use to a reduced risk of high blood pressure, neurocognitive diseases, and overall mortality. Men who had 4 to 7 sauna sessions per week showed a 66% reduced risk of dementia and a 65% reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. The sweat bath does not strip your skin ecosystem. It feeds it. It activates your dermacidin. It strengthens your microbiome. It does what soap only pretends to do. The science is settled. So now the only question is whether you can actually build one. The answer is yes, for about $100. Cob is the oldest building material in human civilization. Clay, sand, straw, water. Clay binds, sand stabilizes, straw adds tensile strength, water makes it workable. The temazcal was cob, the sauna was cob. What makes cob perfect for a sweat bath is its thermal mass. Earthen walls absorb heat, retain it, and radiate it back slowly and evenly over time. A Cob sauna heated by stones wraps you in consistent, penetrating warmth. The walls themselves become the heating system. Cob also regulates humidity naturally. Research published in Energy and Buildings documented that Cob walls stabilize indoor humidity to around 50% relative humidity. They absorb moisture when the air is wet and release it when conditions dry. This prevents mold. It prevents sick building syndrome. A Cob sauna breathes in ways no manufactured material can match. The Cob Research Institute achieved adoption of its building code proposal by the International Code Council in 2019. Cob now has an appendix in the International Residential Code. Accessory structures under a certain square footage in many jurisdictions require no permit at all. Language matters when describing what you are building to officials. Outdoor wellness structure raises fewer eyebrows than earthen sauna. Every culture that thrived built earthen sweat chambers. The physics is 9,000 years old. The materials are beneath your feet right now. The health benefits are confirmed by 20-year studies published in JAMA Internal Medicine. The soap industry spent billions convincing you that cleanliness required their product. Colonial governments destroyed the sweat baths of conquered peoples. Modern plumbing privatized what had been communal and free for millennia. The earthen sweat bath was not abandoned because it failed. It was erased because it could not be sold. clay, sand, straw, water, $100, a weekend of work. The soap industry pretends it does not exist. Your skin knows better. The earth has been waiting.